Hello and welcome to the Home Screen podcast. This is the second episode. My name is Josh, I'm the host, and today I'm joined again by Charlotte. How's it going, Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Glad to see we're keeping up doing these very regularly.
I know, yeah. And when you say, glad to see me, nice to see me.
Because we live together. We do live together, so nice to also in the lounge with me at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and do these a little bit more often. The second film we're going to be doing our podcast on is The Holdovers. The Holdovers is a film that's coming out in the UK in January, but it's been out in America for a while. It's on a festival run. We were fortunate enough to see this at Leeds Film Festival on the 12th of November, and I think we both loved it. Charlotte, what did you think of The Holdovers? We're going to try and avoid spoilers, but we'll see how that goes. So how did you enjoy The Holdovers?
Yeah, I really liked it. I loved the sort of festive aesthetic of it, and just the whole story is really wholesome, and there's like bits of drama and bits of like high moments, bits of low moments, but it all blends together like so well, and it's a really well written film.
Absolutely, yeah, I really agree. I think it's amazing. Just to give a short summary of the plot without doing spoilers. The Holdovers is set in the 70s. I think it's in 1970 or 1971, about a bunch of boarding school students that are stuck at their school over the Christmas break because they can't go back to their families for different reasons. So they have to remain there with one tutor, Paul, who's played by Paul Giamatti, and they're basically stuck there over the break. Although as the film goes on, the other students eventually end up departing, which just leaves one student, Angus, with Paul and the cook, Mary, played by Davine Joy Randolph. And the three of them are stuck there over the Christmas period, so Christmas Day all the way leading up to New Year's Day until the semester returns. None of them want to be there, and the interactions that ensue are rather comedic. So yeah, I absolutely loved this. I think it's so good. I think it's my new favourite Christmas film. It's a shame that this isn't coming out in the UK until the 25th of January, or whenever it is in January, because I think it was like such a perfect Christmas film.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really want, well, obviously it's not out in the UK, but it would have been really nice to watch it like at home or in the cinema.
Yeah, I think it'd be a nice one to rewatch every year, and I think that the 70s aesthetic that they went for really lends itself as well. And it's hard to describe rather than just saying, oh, it's cozy, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just the whole aesthetic and how it's shot on film, how the sound recording quality isn't using the most crisp mics. It all feels quite old school, and you probably could pass this off as having actually been filmed in the 70s.
Yeah.
Obviously the camera quality is great and there are some amazing shots in here. I remember in my Letterboxd review, I do remember saying, I do think this is like a rare example of like a modern classic, and I don't think that you get many of those nowadays. Like, there's good films that come out each year, films that win awards and things, but I don't think there's a lot of films that come out nowadays that people will like make a habit of routinely rewatching. And I think like Christmas movies are quite unique in that sense, because like I really hope that this gets popular, and you can picture like people having this on DVD, one of the rare movies that people actually have on DVD and stick on over the Christmas break in years to come. Yeah, the acting is incredible from the three mains especially. And I think it's really impressive how the directing manages to make everything just feel so effortless. It feels like a really complete cinema experience in all senses. You don't really think you're watching a movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just feels really authentic, and like it's not exaggerated or anything. It's just nice.
Just nice.
Yeah.
It's also really funny. Did you think this?
Yeah, it did have some really comedic moments in it.
Yeah. I think it is rare to see a film that has so much heart as this. A close comparison. I don't know. Have you seen Dead Poets Society before?
No, I've not.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, you need to. That's a Robin Williams film. But he's a teacher in a private school where they're all taught quite boring curriculum, and he inspires them to all like think for their own and pursue different careers and pursue their dreams. I remember when I saw the trailers for this when we started watching it, the close comparison to this film is Dead Poets Society, which is a great film in itself, obviously with a similar aesthetic and setting. And so similarly, The Holdovers is like really carried by the brilliant leads with Robin Williams in Dead Poets and Paul Giamatti in this. my favourite aspect of the film, without going into too much detail, like the growing father-figure relationship between Paul and Angus is like something really special. I think it underpins like every scene, from like their arguments and comedic anecdotes to like really heartfelt, dramatic confrontations. I think that they are such a good pairing in this, and they obviously carry it being the two, like, I would say co-leads. I think they're both the main character.
Yeah.
And seeing how their relationship changes throughout is the film. I think that is the story.
Yeah. Some of the moments as well, if you've ever worked as like a teacher or a youth work or anything like that,
Yeah.
like some of the relationships between the teachers and the students, very relatable.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think it feels very real, in not a boring way, but yeah, I agree. I definitely, yeah, that comes across. Davine Joy Randolph, the cook, Mary, she was incredible in this.
Oh, she was. Yeah, I loved her character.
Only other thing I've seen her in, or you haven't seen it, but is Only Murders in the Building. That's the only thing I've seen her in. She plays a policewoman in that. She was so good in this, and I really hope that she actually gets the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. I don't know if she would or not, but I really hope she does. I think it was such a great performance. Yeah, I just think it's so good, and I think it is a nice balance of the comedy and the drama. I feel like there can be some quite heavy dramatic moments, and then the comedy doesn't feel like insensitive. Like it'll be quite a serious beat and then followed by some comedy, but it doesn't feel like the comedy diminishes the importance of what's just happened. I think it's quite a nice balance.
Yeah, and it lifts some of the sadness off, like,
Yeah.
yeah, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I think it's paced in a way that makes that work. I think in like some more modern films and like blockbusters, and even like in some Disney stuff, emotional things aren't given the time they need.
Yeah.
Something will happen, and then the film will just move on, and then it almost feels like insensitive and it diminishes the impact of that moment. Whereas I think in Holdovers, Alexander Payne, the director, has done a really nice job of placing these emotional beats throughout in a really well spaced manner that everything has space to breathe. And then that also works in vice versa for the comedy. The comedy isn't just like a great joke and then it either lasts too long or it moves on too fast. Everything has the space it needs.
Love a good Christmas film. I don't think I've asked you this actually, and we've been together for like 3 years, but still don't know what your favourite Christmas films are and where the Holdovers film would rank.
I'm not too sure. I don't really think I have like a ranking. There's a few that I think I've seen most classic Christmas films that people would talk about. I don't really have like a number one favourite. Actually, my number one favourite probably used to be Home Alone 2. I think the first Home Alone I enjoyed, but I think I've only seen the first one a handful of times. But I had the second one on DVD, so I've probably seen the second one over a dozen times. And it being set in New York, yeah, I think the second one's probably my favourite Christmas film. Christmas Carol is good. Muppets Christmas Carol is good. And then there's obviously like Elf and What a Wonderful Life. And I feel like I've seen all of these over the years, but ones that like I actually like, Christmas films I would want to watch every year would probably be Home Alone 2 and the Holdovers now. I think they're my two favourite Christmas films. What are some of your favourite Christmas films?
I like The Snowman.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's also very in there as well. Yeah.
That's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
It's just so cute.
It's an amazing art style as well, it all being like hand animated.
And the only bit of like speech you get in it is the song.
Yeah.
And that's it. I like the Polar Express. That's a good one as well.
That's a good one too. I feel the animation in that is so funny now. It's not held up at all. Everything looks horrible, but it's also just a really good film, and it's really got a lot of heart, and it's very funny. So yeah, that's a good one as well. I know you love A Christmas Carol.
I do.
Which version of A Christmas Carol do you like? There's like the more modern Disney one, or like the old school one with Michael Caine, or like Muppets?
I like all of them, but I really like the Disney version.
The one is that with Jim Carrey as
I think
Scrooge?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's something to be said about like Christmas movies are almost like a genre in themselves.
Mhm.
Christmas films are interesting because they do like span a lot of genres.
Yeah.
But then I guess the common threads between them is they're all very accessible. I feel like anyone can really watch a Christmas film.
And just like understand what's going on. Like you don't really have to think much and concentrate much on what is going on.
It's almost like, I mean, this isn't the main design, but you can picture they're the kind of films that are just on in someone's house during the Christmas break, and people can just walk in and out, and they're in the background as people have like family around for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they're kind of Christmas films in general. They're just kind of constructed more with like broad themes throughout. So, thoughts on the Holdovers? What would you give this out of 10?
Probably give it a 10. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a good film, good story. Couldn't really see any faults with it personally. So yeah, I just enjoyed it.
Nice, very nice.
What
I would
about you?
also give this a 10, I think. It sounds like we're just giving everything. Well, to be fair, we're only really reviewing really good films. It's not like we're watching random stuff like Killers of the Flower Moon and then The Holdovers and then the next episode as well that we've got lined up. They're all really high scoring films.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd give this 10 out of 10. I think it's borderline flawless. The aesthetic's great, the directing, the acting, and of course it being, I think, my favourite Christmas movie and probably one of the best Christmas movies of all time. I wonder what this is actually going to do with awards. I'd hope this gets nominated for a Best Picture Oscar, but I feel like Christmas movies or Christmas set movies don't tend to get a lot of recognition at the award ceremonies. I would love to see all three of the leads get nominated in their respective categories, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But when it comes to predicting Oscars and stuff, I'm definitely going to be rooting for Holdovers all the way. Right, well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being the guest once again.
Yeah, no worries.
And if you've enjoyed this podcast, find us on our social medias. They'll all be in the Spotify description, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.